All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you coming. The repeat coaches that may have heard this meeting before, I appreciate you guys coming again. Not a whole lot of different changes, but we are going to touch on some of the rules as well during this meeting, so just some of the highlights. We are going to be recording this, so people at home that couldn't make the meeting, at least will get up to speed before the season starts. We'll send out the YouTube link. But yeah, appreciate the time. We'll try to stick to an hour, and hopefully before that. So just we're going to be touching on a little bit about the league, kind of who I am and how we got started in this thing. We'll talk about the role of the coach versus the assistant coach. Talk a little bit about the venue and how Kyrene Sports, how we're different from some of the other leagues. If this is the first time you guys are joining this league, go over the season and some of the coach, and then I have some of our staff here as well. Talk about the coach expectations and some parent communications, and then we'll open it up for a little Q&A if you guys have some at the end. How many first-time coaches are here tonight? Raise your hands. Cool. And then thank you guys for all the repeat ones. Very cool. I got a quick little video just to kind of show you a little bit before we get started here.
We've been coming to I-9 for a year now, and I like it because the practices are on the same day as the game. It's very organized, and you know what to expect time and time again, and season again.
Hi, my name is Brent. I coach iOS 10, which is basically 5, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds youth soccer. I9 is awesome because we really enjoy it just as parents, watching the kids really focus on themselves and us not necessarily having such a competitive spirit, but being more focused on just the kids enjoying themselves and having a good time.
Today's sportsmanship value for our medals is going to be about being a good teammate. Does anyone have a really quick example of being a good teammate?
Like a sportsmanship.
That's a good basketball example. What about in real life? What about being a good teammate? How about when you help your parents clean the kitchen? You're on a team in your family, right? So coaches and I are going to be looking for really good teammates today. That means I should see a ton of passes. Ton of good passes, tons of talking on offense and defense. Hey, I got my man. I got your man.
We've made a lot of great friends just through this community. We've got some lifelong friends now. We've got kids that are always wanting to be on the same team year after year, and I9 accommodates that. They allow us to be able to have the buddy system with the team so that we can choose what teams we want to be on the next year if we've played with other kids before, and it allows us to really create good relationships. I love I9. I'm going to be back next season. See ya.
1, 2, 3, hard work! Go, go!
Give a big group hug. Come here. Come here, guys. Come on. I'm not going to cry, but y'all going to make me cry. Come here. Come here. Loud as we can. I-9 football on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I-9 football!
Cool. Just a little promo in the spirit of what we're doing. Just a little brief background on myself. I'm born and raised here in Scottsdale. I went to U of A, graduated media arts and minor business. Was in the animation film world for about 15 years. Worked on movies like Sin City, Tron, Thor. I was living in India before I moved back here, working on Penguins of Madagascar, Rise of the Guardians. So had that life, and then with Hollywood, it's kind of crazy. some of us know. But decided to move back here with my family, kind of plant the roots. I got my 2 kids, one's 6 and one's 3 now, both been playing in the league, so having a good time with it. I started about 3.5 years ago with one location. We opened up January 2014, so about 3.5 years I've been doing it now. And took over the Ahwatukee Goodyear location this summer, and this last season was the first season that we sort of ran it. Took over from Rob Anderson, great guy. But happy to have expanded out in this neck of the woods, and happy to be running the programs out here. Have about 12 locations throughout the valley now. So really it's just myself as the owner, and then the guys that are in the Chandler, Queen Creek, this area over here. And last season was our biggest to date. We had about 1,700. So we're still growing. We're looking to maybe add a location in Levine, just to sort of round out the map there. But it's a great program. I'm pretty happy with it, and liking the repeat coaches and just keep growing the program and seeing more kids in sports. So we have a couple different options for coaching. I mean, a lot of you repeat coaches kind of know the drill, but this is sort of new to the franchises I've been running at North Phoenix. Up until kind of this last season, we've only really had assistant coaches out here. I know a lot of you guys are just head coaches. The football program is much different than the North Valley that I run. So basically a head coach, you guys can sign up to be a head coach, which you'll be responsible for running the practices, giving out the medals. And an assistant coach is if you're not too comfortable running your practice or whatnot. We have staff instructors for all the sports other than football at the Kyrene location that'll pretty much help you run the practice, so you can just assist and not be responsible for coming up with drills and whatnot. So we try to, that's one of the things that separates us out from like the NYS or something like that, is we employ staff instructors to help run the program and ensure the quality and make a good program out of it. So Kyrene, pretty much the same layout this season. Have about 16 teams of soccer, 32 flag football, 1 cheer, and we have our 8 t-ball teams. As we're getting colder and darker in the morning, we're going to bump up the start time for our younger groups to 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock this season. Probably come back to 8 o'clock in the spring season again, since it gets warm towards the end. This season it's a full 8 weeks for the Kyrene, and then 7 weeks for Kiwanis. And the picture date is going to be on week 2 for us this time. No blackout dates for this season, but pretty much same layout this go around. So just briefly touch on the I-9 sports, what separates us: fun, safety, convenience. We're not a crazy competitive league, although the football program has become more competitive on this side of town, which it's a good, healthy competition. We have more teams. We want the kids to have fun at the end of the day. It's, I know everyone wants to win and do the playoffs and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're all here to have fun. We shouldn't be yelling at the refs and making, scenes on the field. We should try to just keep it clean, keep it positive for the kids, and that's the most important thing, that they have fun. Safety, we have the parental pledge that everyone signs before they start the league, which basically says that they'll refrain from the negative sideline behavior, yelling at the coaches and the refs. I mean, there's going to be bad calls made. We get it. Let's just try to, be bigger people, like lead by example to the kids, and have a good time. Do background checks for all the coaches, convenience. We try to just keep it the games and practices, with the exception of football. Because of the limited field space for football, we have the coaches run practices during the week. They could do a Saturday before earlier, but just due to the lack of the field space there, we like to have the coaches run it during the week. So, quick little overview. The Tuesday before, every Saturday, so I think on Tuesday the 4th, you guys will be all getting a bi-weekly practice plan. These will have all the rules, and practice plans. A lot of you guys have your own material, but we like to provide material as well. So, you know, be on the lookout for these emails every 2 weeks. That'll have a new set of practice plans if you wanted to use that stuff, or just see the rules or any other kind of important coach information. You guys will be getting that email on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, all the parents will be getting a weekly newsletter that we've been keeping up with. So this will have any pictures that we take from the field. It'll go over the sportsmanship lesson that we're going to be talking about that week. Any other updates as far as communication, the picture dates or lost and found. If there's anything lost and found, we always post pictures of all the missing stuff in the newsletter, just to keep everybody informed as much as possible. All right, so we'll get into the season overview. So week 1, that's our Jamboree week. We don't keep score, for the first week. It's basically everybody gets to know their teammates. So we have you guys check in about 30 minutes before. This is an example at a different field, but at Kyrene, we have our sports signs kind of posted up on the walls there, so everyone can just find their sports sign. And you'll see on the stakes in the ground the team members, and behind the team members will be the coaches' bags. So inside your coach's bag will be your coach's shirt. If you are a new coach or have coached before, those will be in the coach's bags on opening day. Obviously, it's getting chilly out in the morning, so if you guys wanted to layer up over a long sleeve or a jacket, just as long as you're easily recognizable as a coach, so parents know to look for you. We give out name tags for you as well, so if you have one from last season, please bring that as well. If not, let me know. If you're missing a coach shirt or missing a lanyard, we'll get you a new one. But this is just so the kids can call you by name, recognize you by name, parents and whatnot just can recognize you. A lot of times these might get lost or you might forget them in the car or whatnot. If you want us to keep them at the field for you, we're more than happy to do so. We have a bag for each of the teams that will have all your medals, sportsmanship medals throughout the season. So if you wanted to just drop this off, we can go ahead and keep them at the field for you so you don't have to worry about them and just hand it to you when you get there if you prefer. So we asked you guys not to start handing out jerseys. I know it's tempting when you get the kids there, but really all you need to do is pull out your roster and start checking kids off. We asked the parents to get there about 15 minutes prior to, that way there's time for check-in. So we're going to be sending out preliminary rosters probably later on this week. Obviously our deadline was just Friday, and we tend to get about 30% more kids register after the deadline. So we try to, even though we're starting here in a couple weeks. But the latest roster, you'll be able to find online once we publish them, which we'll send out an email once they're published. You guys will get something preliminary this week. Still subject to change, we're still adding more people. But you'll have always your latest roster in your coach's bag, so you don't need to worry about printing it out the night before or whatnot. On the roster, it's also going to say, what color jersey you're at. We're going to go ahead and just flip into the appropriate color before, so you don't have to worry about that. All the jerseys will be in the bags, and they all correspond to the sizes. They'll all be written on the jerseys, so you'll be able to see in the bottom corner the jersey size on there. We'll also have name tags that we just have on the first day for you guys. So if in fact you got there a little bit early and had some time, if you wanted to just put the name tags on the jerseys, normally we just have you guys put them just put them on the chest above the hard line. And the name tags will also have, I don't know if you guys can see it, but they'll have stars. The stars pretty much represent how many seasons someone's played with us before, just so you can identify, Sabrina over here is the first time at I-9 versus someone that's been here 4 or 5 seasons. Also in the coach's bag, if you guys are a T-ball, you'll have all the hats for the T-balls. If you guys want to put the name tags on the brim of the hat, these get left behind a lot, so we'll also have a Sharpie at the canopy if you guys wanted to write the names, but otherwise, if you put the name tag on the brim, these get left behind, so it's easy to identify who they belong to. For flag football, we'll have all the flag belts in the bags as well, so the white are usually for our small and extra small jerseys, and the blacks are for large and medium and large, extra large jerseys. Those will all be written down on the roster as well, so you don't have to figure it out. But, we'll just have like a /W or a /B, so you can easily hand those out. We will also be, since the picture week is week 2 for the Kyrene location, we'll also be giving you guys the picture packets. I can touch on that real quick. So inside the coach's bag will be a picture packet. If you guys can hand out one per family, per participants or per siblings, then you need 2 packets. There's a coach packet that has some information on there as well. I think that's all of. Correct. So one thing new this season, guys, I don't know if you can read it, but normally for flag football, we've been giving you guys 2 balls at the beginning of the season, the coach's bag. Unfortunately, the end of this first season, we had only about 50% of the balls returned. So this season, we're actually going to just be putting down a deposit. I mean, we have the balls available, but you guys can just check them out from us at the beginning of the season. It'll be $10 a ball. And that way, you know, if in fact they don't come back, at least we're covered for it on our end. So that's just something new. We'll have the balls available again, just a $10 deposit. We'll give it back to you at the end of the season if you bring it back the balls. Cool, so the kids will start arriving, you'll check them off on your rosters. Again, we ask that you guys don't start distributing jerseys. Once you have about 75 or 80% of your kids, you can walk out to your field, which will also be labeled on your roster, what field number you're at. We'll send out that map ahead of time so you'll know kind of the field layout, so you'll know what field number you're at. But it's easier once you have all the kids to head out to your field and then start distributing the jerseys and putting the name tags on them. It just, when you guys are bending down and digging through the bag, giving out jerseys, you know, the parents can't recognize who the coach, and it just kind of creates a lot of clusters. So if you guys can just, again, worry about just checking off the kids, knowing who's there, and then head out to the field once you have the majority of your kids there on the field. So once you guys do that, we like to have our staff kind of give the parents just a brief overview. It's kind of a dumbed down version of this meeting. You know, as you can see here, we just gather all the parents up, kind of go over the season highlights, just like we're doing here, important dates, and then we get started with the practice or games, whatever that is. As you guys are distributing the jerseys, unless you do it ahead of time, have the kids come up with their team names. 2 choices, first choice, second choice. That way if people pick the Cardinals, you know, you'll have a second choice if you're covered there. And then at the end of the day, if you guys can just let us know, our staff will kind of record them as well, but just let us know the team numbers or the team names so we can update the rosters online, and they won't be known as the TO2s, they'll be known as, you know, the Diamondbacks or what have you. And then at the end of the day, unless you guys are flag football, you don't really need the coach's bags. So if you're soccer or t-ball, you can bring the coach's bags back to us. That would be much appreciated. That way we can just have them stored away. If in fact you do have players missing, we ask that you just put the name tag on the jersey so we know that's missing and leave them in the bag. We'll go ahead and sort those out later, so when they check in on week 2, you know, the name tag will be there. We can just hand them the jersey at the canopy. You guys don't need to take it home and worry about that. We'll take care of that at the canopy there. Correct. So week 2, we start our sportsmanship value lessons. We ask you guys to arrive about 15 minutes prior to for weeks 2 through 8 or 7. And that way, you guys will stop by our table and you'll each get your sportsmanship medal for the day. Along with that bi-weekly practice plan, we'll also have the sportsmanship values. So if you guys wanted to download them, know what we're talking about, you guys will have what we're talking about. So one thing we've been doing before is having our staff go over the value before we get started with the practice or game. So, you know, they'll just gather up all the kids, you know, sit them down and just go over, you know, whatever field they're on, just go over the value of the day, engage them. You guys, coaches, can chime in as well if you have specific examples or want to chime in. It's not something that we're just going to dictate. Our staff will kind of do that just to facilitate it and make sure it gets done at the beginning of the practice and that way we can reinforce that value lesson throughout the practice and game. At the end of the game, don't forget to award your medals, and we'll have the award winners head back to the table in the canopy, and we'll get a picture with our award winner sign. This is a twofold process. One, so there's a cool picture that we'll put in the newsletter that parents can kind of share around with friends and family. But also we'll help you keep track of who's got the medal that week. So by week 5, 6, when there's a bunch of kids already, you'll know who still needs a medal to give out. Definitely try to keep track of it. I mean, if you guys wanted to, I didn't mention on your rosters, write down the jersey number so you know who's who. This will kind of go over on the coach expectations, but try to know your kids on your team. I mean, it really helps if you know their names and you can know who you give the medal to. The worst thing we could do is say, okay, who needs a medal this week? It's not really professional. It doesn't really look good. Just keep track of it and just know who hasn't gotten a medal yet, and award the person that hasn't got it yet. So a couple of things at the end of the game, we have you do. Always we'll line up and shake hands at the end of the game, just showing sportsmanship each week. Some teams always end before they break and do their medals, they'll end with a team huddle and a 1, 2, 3 go team. So week 2 again will be picture week. For those of you guys that are new, we use a company called Portrait Effects. Again, the picture practice we'll hand out the week before. You'll be able to order pictures online if you wanted to, or just fill out the packets and bring them there. The schedules will adjust slightly that week because obviously 400 or 500 kids to get through. We always start the schedule a little bit sooner that day. There won't be any makeups, but if you are going to miss week 2 and not be able to pictures, we'll have a list in the opening day emails of all the other sites that will have picture days at, so you could theoretically go to a different site and get your picture, and we can still bring it in. So with this company, they shoot all the kids individually, and then they do a digital composite of the kids at the end. It makes for a really nice picture. No one's kind of looking the wrong way. No one's picking their nose. It's all a nice, composite. So even if the players aren't planning on to purchase pictures, we like you guys to have everybody take their picture just because it makes up the team photo. If only 1 or 2 people on the team take the pictures, it's going to be a sad looking team photo with just 2 people. Coach perk, you guys will get a free Coach Kit picture, and if you guys order online, it comes with a nice little luggage tag as well that you can get with it. And the pictures will be distributed out at the field, by week 7 or 8 towards the end of the season. Okay, week 3 is just a standard practicing game week. Same thing with week 4. On week 4, all the parents, you guys will all be getting our surveys. These surveys we take really serious. Basically ask us 2 questions. How would you rate us on a scale of 1 to 10? This is kind of the mid-season pulse on how we're doing on the program. Obviously we want to try to earn 9s and 10s from everybody's. We consider it to be the most organized, sports program out there for kids. So hopefully we're doing our job. Things are going well. But if there are anything issues, obviously we like to hear about it so we have a opportunity to fix it before the end of the season. I always tell people, don't wait till week 4 when the survey comes out to let us know that something's wrong. If you guys notice something on week 1, week 2, let our staff know so we have just opportunity to nip it and fix it right there. Again, we want you guys to have a great experience, we want the kids to have a great experience, so we really take this stuff serious. Week 5, standard practice game, same with week 6. Week 7 is our coach appreciation week. We always appreciate the coaches coming back every season, and we also take care of the coaches by just giving you guys a credit if every season you guys coach with us, up to $50. So every season you guys will be getting an email on the Saturday of Coach Appreciation Day, and I'll just have a credit on your account for helping us out. So we greatly appreciate it. We send an email out to the parents letting them know that they should at the very least give you guys handshake, thank you guys, we've seen gift cards and whatnot. We just want them to recognize you guys could be on the sidelines as well, but instead you're out there on the field, and we greatly appreciate that. Cool. So before the end of the season, on the Thursday before the Saturday, we'll be back here at the Peter Piper. This one will be on Thursday, February 23rd. So usually about 2 weeks before, you guys got the paper here. Those will be in the coach's bag as well. But you know, so this was last season was the first season we were doing this, and it turned out to be pretty successful. You guys will all get a coach's packet about 2 weeks before that Saturday. Inside it, we'll have it'll have the flyers to hand out to the parents that day. It'll have the MVP awards that you guys can take home and fill out one per player to hand out either here at Peter Piper or the Saturday before the pizza party. So everyone will get one of those awards. And then there's some you know, some special offers as well. So the thing with the pizza party, it is a fundraiser for us. We use that money to go back into the league and support kids that need scholarships and whatnot to help get in. So you know, we let parents know, you know, that they do need to provide their pizzas. Some of the coaches will take it upon themselves to organize and buy the pizzas for the team. That's totally up to you guys. It's not a requirement at all. But if you guys are planning on coming, let the parents know on your team if you guys plan on coming or not. That way, at least the parents. Last season, a lot of parents was like, "Where's the coach? Where's the coach?" And they wasn't here. So just communicate to the parents, "Hey, I'm not going to be there that day, but you guys can all come." It would help if you guys could facilitate, if in fact you did want to go on one of the 3-piece extra large deal, just to have everyone chip in a few dollars and just kind of organize that. So that way when the pizza and the party comes, you know, for $44, I think it's like 3 extra large pizzas. It's just a good deal, you know, if everyone pitches in a couple dollars versus everyone doing it individually. As it mentions on that sheet, in fact you guys do RSVP, you know, they'll reserve a table for you and your team. They'll have like a free ice cream eating contest for your team as well. They do a bunch of games and raffles and stuff like that, so it's a lot of fun. Just a good way to end the season before the last game. Everyone splits. There's always birthday parties on Saturdays and whatnot, so just a fun way to end the season. We always do a registration promotion, $20 off for the next season, so that'll be the spring season right afterwards. And then week 8, final week, I think it's the 25th this season of February. So, you know, a lot of you guys know from last season, we call you guys over, all the teams, before the last game or practice starts, and form our big tunnel. You know, the kids run out through Eye of the Tiger. It's a lot of fun. You guys on that week, instead of getting a sportsmanship medal, you'll all be getting the participation medals to hand out to all the players, unless you're division champion. Then we take the two teams in the division for the champion, and they have a different medal. But everyone else will get their participation medal. So you guys will collect that at the beginning of the day and hand that out afterwards. When you guys do that, you know, just have a mini award ceremony with your team, hand out the medals, and high five and applaud it up for them. All right, so this is Will Lofton. He's our lead instructor for the program. Just got to go over some of the coach expectations for you. Check. All right, how are y'all doing today? Thank you very much. So we'll start with the volunteer coach expectations. Really simple stuff, but we like to say them up front so that there's no surprises later or you're not confused. Starting with the shirts that we have. See a couple of our returners, coaches already have it on. That's what we really need, just to show uniformity in the program, as well as support, and so that the parents actually know who they're looking for. Their kids are with you, so it's really, really, really important that they know who to the kind of point person for that moment in general. With call-ins too, communication is huge because the way we present ourselves and the way we communicate is big too. We really got to know if you're not going to be here. Just let us know. It's not like you're in trouble or anything. There's nothing that you're volunteering to help us out, so we love it and we appreciate it. But we got to be able to cover if you can't make it, or we got to be able to prepare if we know we don't have you there, so that the kids aren't just standing around in a huge circle with nobody, and the parents are looking confused. Everybody's confused. So just over communicate. If you know you're not going to be here or have an idea that you may have something coming up, just give us a heads up so we know, and we can start having stuff in mind early. Because seriously, no subs.
for you guys. It's just us. So we really appreciate when we get people to call in. The site manager is a good point. Get the site manager involved. They can definitely get in touch with other instructors that can help out if we need to cover or help anybody out. Connor's right here. He's a site manager that you'll be looking for too. So yeah, flag him down if you need to talk to him about anything. Questions about what's going on with the program at the site are definitely a good place to direct Sora and him. Where we at? Oh, attitude and behavior for our coaches, man. We love positivity. We understand things are frustrating, especially because we're competing and we're teaching. So it can be frustrating, but try to keep an upbeat attitude with parents, with the athletes, with each other, and everything. We really want to push away from any situations where we're yelling at anybody or raising, or even having to raise your voice in this situation is just not necessary. Most of the time we have beginners in a lot of our locations. I know that Kyrene has a lot of kids that have been there before, but in general, man, be really patient with the kids. We want to build a good experience if they want to come back and do this again. Not just here, but in general. The more they like the sport, the more they're going to practice on their own, the more they're going to have success on their own. So we want to make sure this is a positive experience for everybody involved, man. So really find a way to just encourage really good behavior out of us first, because the kids mimic it. See a lot of kids starting to yell at refs after they see their coach do it, or after they see another player do it and they're not reprimanded maybe or nothing said to them, so they think it's okay, and it really isn't. Not in any case, because refs don't change calls if you yell at them, and because it's just bad habits, bad behavior. So we want to try to curb that as much as possible, promote positivity through the whole program. Equal playing time for our players too. I know if you got good kids, especially if they're your kids, you want them to play, you want to see them do well. We got to make sure everybody gets touches. And also with that, I like to encourage this in any sport, doesn't matter what it is, pass the ball. Get rid of the ball. Try not to let one kid hold it or dominate in any real way. What I like to do, I do a lot of basketball classes or soccer, any sport, same for maybe football. Even football, so you can spread the ball around. You got one kid you know is going to score every time they touch it, let them get some touches and then start to kind of nudge them, say, hey, make the other guys better. Why don't you set this kid up for a shot? Start adding something to their game, because then they can learn to distribute instead of just thinking they can benefit from scoring. And other kids, everyone has more fun when there's basketball. Okay? So really want to encourage equal playing time and equal touches too. So just because they're on the court doesn't mean they're necessarily getting reps. We want to make sure everybody gets a chance to experience the game as a player, not just as an on-field spectator. We also have our sportsmanship medals. For those, like Aaron said, it's really cool if you're prepared. Take them out of the bag, and also make sure you know who you're going to give it to. We have a list, master list at the site manager's spot that'll list out. You're supposed to stop by there after every practice to let us know who got the medal after the start of the second week. That way we all know we're on the same page. So Johnny doesn't get 2 this week, and someone's left out and you have to double up later, and it looks weird because kids are getting one. So try to make it so that you're ending up giving out all the medals by the very last week, because we always have our participation medals. For the coaches that don't know, at the very end, everyone gets a medal at the very last day. So by that time, everyone should have already gotten at least one for the values that we're going to give out every single week. And again, that's something that the instructor will be able to help you with, and also Connor will be able to help you with if you got questions. Clean up, please. That's really huge too. We don't own any of these sites specifically. We visit it. We're visitors there, just like everyone else. Most of them are schools too. So if you got kids, you want them to play in a clean area. Let's make sure we clean up the school we're using for this thing. I spend a lot of time picking up, and it's not a big deal to me because I want the environment to look good. I do the same thing when I'm teaching at school. I clean my environment because I don't want to ask the kids to play in somewhere filled with trash. That seems weird. To have to trip over or grab bottles. Anything you see, just try to help out. And because again, kids mimic us. They're going to see you pick up something and they think it's okay now. They encourage you to do so as well. So if you can, just try to help us get as clean as possible. Not asking you to be a janitor or asking you to go out there and like wax the whole court or anything like that. Just make sure if you see a piece of trash laying there, just grab it, toss it away. That's it. Going along with being prepared, have your ideas for practice. If you have your own specifically that you looked up, have them already ready with you. Or in your head if you're good at remembering them. I remember a lot of stuff, so I usually write a bunch down. But I know what I'm doing every single time I go to the field or a court or anything like that. Or I have a general idea and I just have to see who I have kind of to fit it in. If you're not there, have it written down. There's nothing wrong with that. I've seen coaches do clipboards, suitcases, folders, everything. Whatever you gotta do to feel comfortable. Have your stuff ready. If you don't, like Aaron said, we do give out our own practice plans that go out bi-weekly. They work on the same skill, different drill. kind of adjustments to the drills every 2 weeks, then we change the skill. So you don't pass the whole 7 weeks. You do pass and switch it up to dribbling, from shooting, or handoffs, then throw, then routes. We switch it up during the bi-weekly situation. So be prepared. Just know what you're going to do. Need help. Again, that's why the instructors are there. Even if you're in Kyrene, if you got ideas or you want to ask help, we still have guys that know about the sport. So ask if you want to. If not, that's cool too. We love being seen and prepared. Also get to know your kids. Learn names if you can. If you can, get a name or a nickname. I usually use nicknames. I see too many kids. So I got nicknames for you. I got crazy hat or green hair or silly shoes or something like that. I'll figure out. They get the feeling that I understand and know them personally too. Parent communication yet again. We want you guys to have good relationships with the parents. So don't be afraid to speak to them, especially that first day. Just say hello as they're bringing their kids to you, greet them. Tell them who you are, say hi, nice to meet you. Just give them the feel that they're okay with dropping their kids off with you. Also, as far as like things on the field, since we're not always there, especially the owner of the program is not always there, it's really a big deal for you to be paying attention to your game enough to be able to talk to a parent. If they have a question about something that maybe they're asking about the playing time, explain to them why you maybe have this kid sitter. Be ready to answer those kind of questions just because they come up. That's not really a league official situation. If you're coaching, you should be watching the game anyway. Or be ready to tell a parent, you know what, I say it all the time. There's a situation where maybe this kid didn't play a minute or two less. Don't worry, I'm looking at that next week. I got him. He'll be sure to get in. I'll make sure he gets rest. Like just reassure them that they're being paid attention to. That's all they really want, is to know that they're valued. Also, we have snacks too, along with the communication. We encourage you to reach out by the Wednesday of that first week of the season so that they all have your contact if they got questions or they want to know your kid. Because I mean, people will miss the first day on you and you'll be looking for a kid too long and maybe it'll hold things up. So give them your contact info early so they know who to reach out to in case something's up. Also, for snacks, let them know to sign up early so that, again, kids are going to be looking for snacks, especially if they're returners. Who signed up? As the coach, you can kind of be the point person. Just go ahead and start that line of talking up. Hey guys, sign up for snacks here. If you want to send a little list, default list you made up or something with numbers to get them in the mode. I mean, sometimes that's all it takes. Just a little piece of paper. Everyone will fill it out though. And then now everybody's responsible. We can hold people accountable because the worst thing is to be expecting it and then kind of be looking in the air like who's supposed to do it and trying to figure it out that day. Just go ahead and start the communication as early as possible with everybody. Also, with the communication, really big on that too. Don't just communicate when something's wrong. You can talk to parents if you have an over-energetic kid, you feel comfortable reaching out and saying, could you help us out? Timmy won't stop running away and we're trying to get him over here, or something like that. Or also just call him and say, hey, your kid's awesome, by the way. Or email him, say, awesome job, find a cool picture somewhere online, paste it or something, but encourage them. Give them a feel like, again, that they're valued. We want them to bring their kids back. We want them to enjoy it. The more kids we have, the better program we have. Also, the pizza party, as Aaron said, is something that we can talk about towards the end. Again, bringing it up early is the best way. Encourage them to be here because it's really cool to see all of the teams, all the coaches be able to make it. Reminding them, too, that it is not free. All right? It is definitely at a discounted rate. Again, it's not free. They discount the pizza for I-9 because we partner with them. So, let them know to show up. If you can make it, that's awesome. They always love seeing their coaches here and hang out with them for just a little bit if you can. And if you plan to return next season, let the parents know so that they can request you. They can always request the same coach. So you'll get kids that'll be the same coach, same group of kids for season after season. So where it would make sure you can still work with and develop the same group if you can build that kind of relationship with them. So let them know if you're going to plan on coming back with us so they can re-sign up with you if you've done a good job, if they're complimenting you, or if you just want to come back. Quick rule highlights for some of the sports that we had. For soccer specifically, we'll start with, we have Super Community Soccer, which goes 4 to 6 minute quarters, 5 versus 5 with no goalkeeper. That's really big because a lot of times we tend to give the littles a goalkeeping job because it makes it easy, gives them something to do. The ones that may not want to run a lot, but what happens is kids just dangle all over the net or something like that, or they just literally hang there the whole game. So we want to try to use no goalkeeper. I would suggest a goalie box made with cones, maybe something where they can't step in to supplement it, so that way you don't have 5,000 or 6,000, 7,000 kids on top of the net trying to shoot it. So just set up like a little goalie area where no one's allowed to step in, where they can kick over it or something like that. But no goalkeepers for the littles. For juniors and seniors, we will have goalkeepers, 5 versus 5 again, same thing. But we just want to make sure we promote a lot of passing. Spacing as well is huge in soccer. I see a bunch of blobs running on every field usually. Teach your kids how to space out. You gotta take a day, sit some cones out. And that's in any sport. If you gotta teach kids spacing, I suggest using cones as markers. Sit them where you literally want them to stand and having them practice from those positions. That's the easiest way I've seen them kind of do it. And maybe it'll help if you're looking for ways to say that, because in the game it's really tough to yell space out. No one hears it ever. No one ever hears it. So junior, seniors, that's it. One coach for on the field at a time. Usually it's not required for juniors and seniors. Usually you can coach from the sidelines, but usually for any of the sports we only allow the most probably like one coach at a time because it gets crowded. For the littles, sometimes you may need more, just depending on the situation. But we're trying to get as few players, few coaches out there as possible, and have the kids be able to play the game as normally as possible. If it's what we're looking for. Again, soccer also obviously, but I'd say there's no tackling, grabbing, tripping, pushing, shoving, or anything overly aggressive. We want to avoid heading too, because you might miss the ball and hit another kid or anything like that. Or any other crazy like flip kicks. Tell kids not to slide. There's no slide in any of the sports that we have, so no slide, just again for safety reasons. You don't have to have that happen. Next we got T-ball. Again, all kids play for our littles for T-ball, so you'll have every single kid back, regardless of outs. We don't do outs for the very youngest age groups. We just let them back so they all get a chance to get up, and they all have to go out and play the field. There really is no bench. You can usually spread the kids out on the field well enough so that they all have their own space, and just kind of talk about, again, communication and spacing. Talk about grabbing the ball or calling for a ball. Usually that helps a lot. It's a good time to do it. 30 minutes for practice, 30 minutes for our games. We don't keep scores or stats again, because it's we're encouraging them to learn the skills first before we start focusing on the competitive part of it. And again, it seems like most of the kids will just focus on whether they're losing or not. They'll stop and forget about playing. No score doesn't matter. They'll just play it out. All coaches and parents can help on the field for T-ball. We encourage you guys to get out there if you have to. I'll say that again. We want athletes to be able to play on their own, and especially giving the kids a chance to be independent. It's a really easy, fun way to do it. Go out there and play a little bit of T-ball. Don't be scared. Okay. See these kids out there, just go enjoy it. Every batter bats, last one hits a grand slam, everybody on the bases comes in, and that's it. And if you can, try to script it up so the same kid doesn't hit a grand slam every time. You can change the end batter if you want, because they'll get maybe 2, maybe 3 rotations sometimes, but usually 1 or 2 rotations, and that's it. So if you can mix it up every week, try to get a couple of different kids to do grand slam each time, that's really cool. All defensive players, we have an arc that we'll make in front of the batter. You got to stand back there, otherwise you'll have kids standing literally on top of the tee, waiting to get a ground ball or trying to get a ball off the bat. You'll either get hit with a bat or a ball or just anything. So we have you guys stand about 10 yards away just to be safe. Coach pitch. Again, all kids play the game. We don't keep scores here either, but it's a little more serious in the sense that we want to try to pitch it overhand to the kids if you can. Please try. Don't just assume they're going to hit it overhand. You'd be amazed at how many kids can dial in on the ball, throw it again, and actually hit it. So give them that opportunity. 3 to 5 pitches. Either way, if you want to mix it up, try a couple overhand, try a couple under. If they can't get it in 3 to 5, set the tee out, let it ride. Depending on the size of the group, you may be able to go a few more pitches, but usually it's a big enough group to where you kind of got to keep it moving so that everyone gets a chance to bat. So 3 to 5 pitches for coach pitch, then keep moving with the tee and have them get on base. Still no outs will be recorded for them. Again, coaches and parents, you're invited to help, but try to encourage your athlete and your athletes to play alone. Let them get out there and feel how the game feels. Still no score, and I think that's it. Basketball. For basketball, we have no jump balls for Pee-wees or the junior divisions. We will do them for seniors, for Pee-wee, I apologize, or junior division. So, do them for seniors. For Pee-wee and junior, we do rock, paper, scissors. Really simple, really fast. Same thing happens for all divisions for tie-ups. So instead of jumping the ball every single time the kids, they're going to fall all over it. instead of jumping the ball every single time they dive on it, we just do a rock, paper, scissors and keep it moving and have a game keep going. Traveling, really big deal to me. All right, I'm a basketball player, so I really have a problem with watching kids run all around the court with the ball like it's a football. If you can't call it because they're the littles and they're going to double dribble and travel anyway, at least be willing to stop the game and explain it. Call your players to the side and explain it. Talk to them and tell them why they can't do that and encourage them to dribble the ball. For the older groups, they'll be called for it. They lose the ball, they'll start losing possessions, and they'll start to get the hang of it. But non-competitive or not, there's no level of basketball that you can do that. So we try to encourage that more than a lot of the other groups. We really want to get that across. And also, usually what happens if the kid's traveling, he's not doing is pass the ball. He's running with it, and he's ignoring other teammates so that he can just keep running with the ball. Encourage him to pass it. That's a way to get out of that habit. Give up the ball, look up for teammates kind of thing. We do have foul shots too added in for juniors and seniors. So it also teaches them how to line up. We got to teach them how to line up for free throws. And it gives a really cool chance for us to cue shoot form on free throws and just shots in general. And the kids get a chance to learn how to rebound. Teach them how to box out. We can cue a bunch of cool stuff during the free throw situation. So juniors and seniors get the chance to do it. Flag football. Few of the rule changes here. I think some of us may already know, but we added the pockets. We had a couple of injuries last season from pockets being up, kids reaching for flags, getting their fingers caught, and hurting their fingers, snagging, jamming them, or whatever. So pockets have to be taken down. So take them down before you get to the field. If you don't have any, I think site managers should have them. Yep, site managers will have tape for you. Another thing we had to deal with a lot last year was we're talking about blitzing. Blitzing is it's for all divisions, right? Yeah, for all divisions we'll have it set so that the rusher can't move until the ball is high. Rushers are always the same distance back, set on 7 yards for the younger, 10 for the older. You can't move or blitz until the ball is high. All right. Also, for to add into that, with blitzing, we had a situation where the quarterback was stationary before they weren't allowed to run. We want them to be able to be mobile if they're being attacked, especially. So trying to avoid the Mike Vick situation where you just hike it to the kid and he just takes off. But if they're being attacked, then they're allowed to move out of the way and get out of there. They don't have to stand and take the fire.
So if they're being blitzed, they can move?
Right.
They could run upfield?
Correct. Instead of just standing and taking
that's great.
That's part of football.
That's a nice change.
It's part of football. So, this rule right here, when the ball leaves the QB's hands, we're talking about when we're handing it off. So again, once the ball is handed to with that being in mind, quarterback hikes the ball. If he just steps back and stands there, you have to wait. If they hand it off to a running back or somebody that's a delay or something like that, everybody's fair game. Everybody can go in after the ball's been given to the running back. While the quarterback has it, they're not being blitzed, they have to stand there. If they're being rushed, they turn it to a running back. If they want. Once they cross the line, they can't throw it anymore, obviously. QB can do hard counts, still doesn't mean the defense can leave. Doesn't matter if they're allowed to use those to their advantage and try to use them. Every player may blitz if they wanted to. If you want to send every guy you have, they have to be 10 yards back in some cases, but that's your choice to do so. But again, quarterback is allowed to make decisions when they're being pursued. Pass interference is really a referee thing. We know what it is in theory. It's always in a situation kind of thing. So refs are going to make their best judgment calls as to whether or not the defense is doing something overly aggressive, or maybe they're not paying attention to the ball even kind of thing, how the play is going to be called. That's going to be up to our referees, but we definitely will be going over those kind of calls at our instructor meetings, where we have those just to get everybody on the exact same page as to what we're looking for when we want to call those kind of plays. Oh, and blocking or picking. This is another good one. For our handoffs, a lot of the times, and it's really weird, it's another weird call to make because there's some ways you can kind of do it and kind of not. We count blocking or picking as anything that obstructs the defense from reaching the flag at all, even if it's an accident. Okay, so your best bet, especially like, so I saw a lot of handoffs where my quarterback would hand the ball off, and as soon as they hand it off, they would stop moving, but they would stop in a place where the guy can kind of use you still, and the defender gets caught up. That's a screen. That's a screen. We have to be able to hand it off in a way where, and get out of the way of the play, so that whoever's pursuing is allowed to come in and still make the play on the flag. Also, something that's an in-play one, but celebrations too. You got a kid that just broke a full field play. Kids are chasing him, and his teammates are surrounding him, cheering with him. That's blocking. All right, so your best bet is just let the kid score, then celebrate with him. Otherwise, you may run the risk of the referee seeing it as you obstructing the play. So try to make sure you get everybody out of the way. Tell your players, hand the ball off, when you throw the ball, whatever. Do whatever you can to make it look like you're not doing it. If you're not in the play, don't involve yourself. So the ball and whoever's on defense should be the only ones that offense can kind of hang back once that happens. Continue on that double possession. We just decided offense always gets the ball. So you guys managed to throw a toss up in the end zone. Two people come down with it, and again, as a referee, having to pay attention to make sure he sees two people come down with it, not one person come down with it, the other person grab it. And coaches can pay attention to that. You don't really have to drill that on the kids, because then they may try to do that and bring double possessions or something like that if they're overthinking it. But just make sure two people come down with it. We already know offense gets the possession. All right. Winner of the coin toss selects whether they want to receive or defer. It's always still your choice. Play clock for our Super Pee-wees and Pee-wees. We have 45 seconds. Junior teams, you have 30 seconds to get your athletes from your huddle to the line of scrimmage and hike the ball. Referees will have their clocks on them to make sure we're keeping track of that. And really trying to be as on top of it as we can. Not because we want you guys to hurry up, but mainly because it's a non-competitive league, so you shouldn't have to strategize for 4 hours in the huddle. And two, because we don't have a whole bunch of time. We don't have a ton of time for one coach to sit in the huddle for a minute and a half, 2 minutes in a 45-minute game. It's just not enough time. So we got to make sure we keep the game moving. 30 to 45 seconds should be more than enough to go over a few simple plays or motions or positions for the kids, especially if you guys have them and you're practicing with them normally. And for the Kyrene location. For the other locations, I mean, you're not even practicing with them, so there's nothing really to talk about for longer than about 45 seconds. Defensive coaches, we want you guys, it says 20 yards back, just make sure you're far enough back so you don't affect the play on accident. Same thing with offense. If you have to be on the play for the littles in offense, don't affect the play. Don't let the ball hit you. Try to move out of the way as much as humanly possible. When the ball's hiked, if you can, try to slide to the side. So instead of just standing there kind of watching like a ref, slide over or be in a position where you can get out of the way all the way once the ball's hiked and it starts to move. So we don't have any accidents or anything like that. But, oh man, that was it. Thank you very much.